to the list of invited guests, Mr. Chair. In the last hearing, I intimated my desire to invite also SunWest, considering that it is the company founded by Congressman Saldico, where his name was also very much floated in this hearing. First, it was mentioned in the sworn statement of the Discayas. It was mentioned by Representative Toby Tiangco, and very lately he was also mentioned by Engineer Alcantara. I intimated that desire in the last hearing, Mr. Chair. And also, I also asked whether Mr. Chavit Singson will be advised during this very hearing, Mr. Chair. I remember Vice Chair Erwin Tulpo confirmed us and said that he will advise you of this request, Mr. Chair. These are all requested. These are all captured in on page 207 of our transcript, Mr. Chair. So I wonder if the committee had made the invitations properly, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I wasn't informed, Your Honor. But next hearing, we will invite them, definitely.
Thank you.
Likewise, Mr. Chair. Sir.
Yes,
Also,
Dr. Jenny.
administrative, also if we can invite again Regional Director Panakan kasi medyo malaki po yung napunta sa Mindoro. If hindi pa siya sumaharap, Panay Bulacan po kasi, malaki-laki rin po yung nailagay doon. I think a total of 40 billion. And also, si Congressman Toby Tiangco, I think his revelations during the first hearing were very revealing. If he can be invited. Nahiya po siya pumunta. Sabi niya kasi he was not invited. Baka sabihin, epal siya. But I think he can help a lot.
Yes, we will also invite him or ilan ba, JB? Only one?
Ayan, si Toby Tiangco and Panakan and siguro yung mga taga Mindoro.
We'll invite them in the next
Thank you,
hearing.
Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Senator De La Rosa.
So, hindi pala ito ang last hearing natin. Meron pa tayong kasunod na hearing.
Definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And
So-
Mr. Chair, lastly, may I confirm if the chairman made an announcement that Mr. Saldico will not be invited?
Yes, as you know, you have been a congressman for many years. There's what we call interparliamentary courtesy. We do not invite or summon members of Congress in the same manner that they don't invite senators to their hearings. It is up to the congressmen or senators concerned to appear before their inquiries in aid of legislation. That is a tradition.
Yes, Mr.
And
Chair.
that tradition is not accorded to individual members of Congress of either house. It is accorded to the institution.
Yes,
Is that, yeah.
you will.
Yeah, but if he is expelled, then we'll invite him. He's no longer member of Congress.
Representative Chanco was not expelled, Mr. Chair, but
Yes, but
When he was invited,
he is voluntarily appearing before the committee.
yes, but there was an invitation.
No, we did not extend any invitation to
I was the
Representative-
one who invited him
Well,
when I was the chairman.
You can speak for yourself.
Yes, that's why. He can be invited. There is no violation of interparliamentary.
Anyway, that's water under the bridge. He will appear, I think, anytime now because he was informed by Senator Ejercito. So can we just proceed? We have a long
Sinasabi ko
day.
po yung tungkol kay Mr. Saldico.
All
Kung
right.
sakaling
All right.
halimbawa nandito siya, we can invite him.
Okay.
Thank you.
No issue there. Okay, so today we will hear the testimony of Mr. or former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo. Kindly stand up so your oath will be administered by the Director General of the group.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Thank you. You may take your seat.
Thank you. Are you ready to make your statement?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
You may proceed.
Dear Senator Lacson and honorable members of the Blue Ribbon Committee, I am Roberto Bernardo, formerly an Undersecretary for Operations of the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH. I was summoned to appear today before the Honorable Blue Ribbon Committee and required to testify in connection with its ongoing inquiry in aid of legislation into the reported anomalies in certain DPWH projects, flood control projects. Bago ko po ilahad ang aking nalalaman sa mga bagay na nais tumbukin ng kagalang-galang na Blue Ribbon Committee, ako po ay umaamin sa aking maling nagawa. Ako po ay hindi naging matatag at tapat sa pagpapatupad ng tungkulin na ipinagkatiwala sa akin ng ating pamahalaan at sambayanan. Taus-puso at puno ng pagsisisi na ako po ay humihingi ng kapatawaran sa Diyos, sa ating bansa at mga kababayan, gayon din sa aking pamilya, mga kaibigan at sa lahat ng aking binigo. Nakagawa po ako ng pagkakamali at pinahintulutan ko po ang aking sarili na maging kasangkapan sa pagpapatupad ng isang masamang gawain. Handa po akong gawin ang lahat ng nararapat upang maiwasto ang aking kamalian at maiwasan na ito'y mangyaring muli. I wish to assure the Honorable Blue Ribbon Committee of my full cooperation with the investigation. I am submitting an affidavit outlining my knowledge and of and involvement in certain events material to the subject of investigation. Moreover, I will disclose and expound on related incidents within my personal knowledge, mindful not only of the materiality of my testimony, but also of my rights, as well as fearful of what effects my disclosures will have on my family's safety and well-being. I have applied before the Department of Justice for coverage as a state witness under Republic Act number 6981, otherwise known as Witness Protection, Security and Benefit Act. I hope the Honorable Blue Ribbon Committee will find merit in my application and favorably endorse the same to the DOJ. With the assurance of the Honorable Blue Ribbon Committee that my rights and benefits under RA 6981 shall be respected, I am prepared to submit the aforesaid affidavit to Honorable Blue Ribbon Committee and swear to and testify on the same, with the approval of the Honorable DOJ Secretary on the disclosure thereof for such purposes. The highly sensitive nature of the disclosures made in my affidavit cannot be stressed enough. These deal with involvement in irregularities of 4 senators and 1 congressman, 1 member of a constitutional commission, and 1 undersecretary, seriously undermining public trust in 2 out of 3 branches of our government and a constitutional body, thereby posing a significant threat to our national security as it may lead to political instability, which may weaken the ability of the government to function effectively. 25 of September 2025, Makati City, Metro Manila. And this, Mr. Chair, signed na po ito.
Okay. May we hear from Secretary Remulla since he mentioned about his application for admission into the program?
Your Honor, we will have to evaluate his statements in relation to all the other testimonies that we have gathered in the DOJ and in the Blue Ribbon Committee.
The Senate President,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman,
Guzman.
yeah. We would like to listen to your sworn affidavit, if you have one, or an affidavit that you will swear to complete the disclosure that you're talking about. Otherwise, those are mere general statements. Please, thank you.
Yes, Mr. President, Mr. Chair, may I be allowed to read the
Yes, you may proceed, Yusek Bernardo.
affidavit? I, Roberto R. Bernardo, Filipino, of legal age, a resident of Malolos City, Bulacan, under oath, deposed and state. In connection with the ongoing Senate Blue Ribbon Committee investigations, I intend to submit this affidavit which provides details of my knowledge about matters within my jurisdiction relating to flood control projects when I was still serving as Undersecretary for Operations of the Department of Public Works and Highways. This affidavit lays out details.
Sorry, excuse me. You have your counsel now with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, po,
Okay,
Mr.
on
Chair.
record. Okay.
This affidavit lays out details of the involvement of legislators as well as other government officials with a commitment on my part to expand these disclosures as my best recollection of facts and records may serve. Number three, since the received an invitation to appear in these proceedings, I began collating, vetting, and consolidating all written communications, documents, tables, and matrices, and lists in my possession, the retrieval of which has been difficult since I retired from public service last August 2025. With the benefit of more time and greater freedom to access files, I am confident that I can provide even more material and relevant evidence that would clarify the issues once and for all. Number four, more importantly, I am executing and submitting this affidavit with my full and absolute consent as an integral part of my application to be admitted under the Witness Protection Program through the favorable recommendations of the Honorable Chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee, Senator Ping Lacson, and the Honorable Senate President, Tito Soto, under Section 4, as well as Section 10 of Republic Act Number 6981, otherwise known as Witness Protection, Security, and Benefit Act before the Department of Justice. I attest and confirm that the names, dates, and transactions mentioned hereunder are based on my direct personal knowledge and have ample documentary support where necessary or desirable if given full opportunity to retrieve the same. Background facts. I earned my bachelor's degree in Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering in 1984. I'm a registered civil engineer by profession. In the year 1985, I began my 40-year stint in the DPWH as a laborer. I then climbed the ranks through the years as Associate Civil Engineer, Engineer 2, Engineer 3, and as Assistant District Engineer, Assistant Regional Director. I then became Assistant Regional Director CESO 4 sometime in 2012 until my appointment as Assistant Secretary in 2016. I finally became Undersecretary more than a year later and remained such until my retirement on August 2025. I met former District Engineer Henry Alcantara during my assignment in the Laguna 2nd District Engineering Office. Engineer Alcantara, Engineer Bryce Hernandez, Engineer J.P. Mendoza, and Engineer Algie Jumasig all belong to the Bulacan 1st DEO. 2020-2040 scheme. Sometime after the State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. in July 2025, and while I was already on sick leave, I heard from Secretary Bunoan for the first time that Engineer Alcantara, Engineer Hernandez, Engineer Mendoza, and Engineer Dumasig were engaged in contracting activities using the licenses of other contractors. Subsequently, Engineer Hernandez confirmed this arrangement through one of the legislative hearings and by other contractors whose license they used. According to Bryce Hernandez, their sharing is 20-20-20-40% from these activities. My understanding is that they had prepared and signed documents for purposes of collecting payments, which they then apportioned the profits amongst themselves. However, I must admit that I have no personal knowledge on the exact actions they took to accomplish this scheme, and I can only be asked general questions on the systems in place that would have allowed this modus operandi to happen. I categorically state that I have neither knowledge nor participation in these business activities, which were entirely done by Engineer Alcantara, Engineer Hernandez, Engineer Mendoza, and Engineer Dumasig on their own. Ghost projects. At about the same time, after the 2025 SONA, I also heard for the first time that aside from the 2020-2040 scheme, there were flood control projects, ghost projects, for which Engineer Alcantara, Engineer Hernandez, Engineer Mendoza, and Engineer Dumasig were also responsible. These were confirmed later by Secretary Bunaan during a separate legislative hearings. I called up Engineer Alcantara to ask him about these flood control ghost projects. He denied any participation. Subsequently, he likewise told me that he even convened the officers of Bulacan First DEO to confront them about these ghost projects, and that some officers, it was Engineer Hernandez, who was the primary person responsible for the same. In the exact words of Engineer Alcantara, si Bryce po yan. I categorically state that I have neither knowledge nor participation in these flood control ghost projects. Congressman Zaldico. My personal knowledge regarding Congressman Zaldico are set out as follows. Congressman Zaldico one time called me to say that he met Engineer Alcantara and wanted to confirm, maayos bang kausap si Engineer Alcantara? To which I replied, maayos po. Engineer Alcantara then told me that Kong Zaldico was asking for a 25% commission, and out of that amount, 2% was to be shared equally between Engineer Alcantara and myself. In his exact words, boss, hati na tayo sa 2%. Furthermore, Engineer Alcantara would tell me every time that he made deliveries of cash to Congressman Zaldico in compliance with his commitment to Congressman Zaldico. In this affidavit, I shall mention my personal knowledge regarding Senator Chis Escudero as follows. Maynard Ngu and I are close friends, and we go years back. He is also a close friend and campaign contributor of Senator Chis Escudero. Maynard Ngu asked me to submit a list of projects. I personally submitted a list of projects to Maynard Ngu, and some of the items therein pertaining to Valenzuela and Marinduque projects were subsequently included in the General Appropriations Act. A copy of the list of Valenzuela and Marinduque projects is here to attach to this affidavit as Annex A. When I gave him the list and in relation to the commitment, I asked him, Boss, paano to? Maynard replied, bahala ka na. I asked, Boss, okay na ba ang 20%? Maynard said, okay. After inclusion of the projects in the GAA, I delivered 20% of approximately 800 million or about 160 million to Maynard Ngu, which was meant for Senator Escudero. Finally, I would like to add that deliveries of cash were personally made to me, by me, to Maynard Ngu at his office in Manila. I confirm that Commissioner Lipana requested that he be referred to officers of DPW's Bulacan First DEO. I referred to Engineer Bryce Hernandez. I have no personal knowledge if they were able to secure a project in Bulacan First DEO. Furthermore, and subject to possible referral to an executive session upon the approval of the Honorable Chairman, I attest to the broader systemic issues in DPWAs that are widespread. My statements hereunder are based on personal knowledge and direct interactions with the personalities involved with great risk to my safety and that of my family members. I confirm the following. Yusek Trigiv Olaybar of DepEd. Yusek Trigiv Olaybar used to work for Senator Ramon Bong Revilla and Senator Sani Angara before his appointment as Yusek for the Department of Education. Sometime 2010, I met for the first time Yusek Olaybar, who was then working in the office of Senator Bong Revilla. Later, I learned that he transferred to the office of Senator Edgardo Angara and then later to Senator Sani Angara. Sometime 2024, Yusek Olaybar personally called me for a meeting to discuss about unprogrammed appropriations, supposedly for the office of the Executive Secretary. In the said meeting, he requested me to submit a list of projects. After the meeting, I asked Bulacan First DEO to prepare a list of projects for funding. Thereafter, Engineer Alcantara submitted a list of projects worth 2.85 billion. Here to attach as Annex B is a list of those projects. Subsequently, I submitted this list to Yusek Olaybar. Yusek Olaybar told me that the commitment is 15% In his words, boss, 15 yan. Thereafter, the DPWH received a special allotment release order for 2.85 billion for the projects listed in Annex B. Engineer Alcantara, from time to time, would collect and deliver the agreed 15% commitment to me, which I delivered or caused to be delivered to Yusek Olivar in Magallanes, Makati, and other places. Senator Ramon Bong Revilla. Sometime in the year 2024, Senator Revilla and I met where I gave him a list of projects given to me by Engineer Alcantara. Senator Revilla asked for a commitment, which I suggested. Then he approved at 25% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list here to attach as Annex C. I relayed the 25% commitment to Engineer Alcantara and told him that Senator Revilla will appreciate additional contributions for his senatorial re-election bid. Engineer Alcantara collected the 25% commitment, or about 125 million, which was turned over to me and then delivered to Senator Revilla in his house in Cavite. Senator Nancy Binay. Sometime in the year 2024, Carlin Villa, a staff of trusted confidant of Senator Binay, called me and asked for a commitment which was set at 15% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list here to attach as Annex D. I relayed the 15% commitment to Engineer Alcantara. Engineer Alcantara collected 15% commitment, or about 37 million, which was turned over to me and which I then delivered to Senator Binay at a house in Quezon City. Given the complexities of the transactions and personalities involved, I humbly reserve the right to submit a supplementary affidavit if warranted in the premises. I attest to the truth of the foregoing statements based on my personal knowledge and authentic records. In witness or hope, I will be affixing my signature this day of September 2025 here. Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Kindly sign your affidavit in the presence of everybody.
Here, Mr. Chair, I have already signed it.
For the record, you signed the same affidavit that you read, no?
Yes po,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair.
Maraming salamat, Yusek. Secretary Remulla is recognized.
Your Honor, after hearing his affidavit and his willingness to disclose all other details about the transactions that happened under his watch, may I respectfully ask the committee to allow the DOJ to have an evaluation of Mr. Bernardo immediately. This matter has to be done because of the gravity of the situation and the fact that we may have to really work overtime on legal matters that are needed, or on necessary legal matters, so that we can preserve the monies and other things that are involved in this discussion.
Thank you, Secretary Remulla. Will you be open to answer some questions addressed to the Secretary of Justice before you leave? Just like the last time? No, not to Yusek Bernardo, but to the Secretary for some clarificatory questions. I mean, to the Secretary of the OJ, not to the affiant. Because you have to bring him back after lunch, no? Not to you, but Secretary Remulla, will you be willing to, not Yusek Bernardo? I'm referring my question to Secretary Remulla. If you're willing to accommodate just a few questions from the members, if they're...
Yes, Your Honor. Of
okay.
course, Your Honor.
So we'll start with whoever. Senator Erwin Tulfo is first on the list. Kindly limit your questions to, in the meantime, no, to Secretary Remulla. Mamaya na lang yung kay Undersecretary Bernardo. Meron. Anybody? You have some questions?
The same naman lang rin, Mr. Chair, na pag alis ni Secretary Remulla, alis din si Bernardo, baka pwedeng magtanong na kay Bernardo.
Hindi. Ang kasunduan natin, pagbalik na lang, kasi hahaba eh. And they have work to do. So we are accommodating them in the same manner that we accommodated Alcantara, Engineer Alcantara, to be brought immediately to the DOJ for evaluation, for some procedure. Then after that, we can have all the time in the world. Maski hanggang madaling araw, kung gusto mong tanongin si Yusek Bernardo,
O sir, pero
you can.
ito, for the benefit of general questions
Hindi na,
na sana.
we're just
dahil-
postponing. We're not rejecting your request to propound questions. kay
Isa kasi sa
Senator.
akin kasi sir pag sabi niya ngayon dito, diretso kaagad file ng kaso sa DOJ without
Hindi, no,
us
no, no,
giving the benefit na makapagtanong man lang kung
Sige. Sen.
No, I think the thing is that the Department of Justice, as much as possible, would like to evaluate first. They will not file any cases against anyone.
but subsequently, filing of cases will follow. Kung sana naman bago siya makonsider doon, dito muna sa atin. Dahil sa atin niya nilahad yung statement niya, so hindi naman niya nilahad sa DOJ, sa atin muna. So sana makapagtanong tayo bago natin turn over sa DOJ for their consideration.
Since there are no senators who wish to propound questions, I think you can, to the
Sir-
DOJ Secretary.
Short lang
Yes,
for
Senator.
DOJ.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Secretary Remulla, sir,
Yes, sir.
can we confirm from you, so far sa itong tinatakbo na investigasyon natin, kung ilan na yung na-admit ninyo sa Witness Protection Program from our resource persons? Kung meron na ba?
Sir, under the Witness Protection Program, dalawang klaseng testigo po. One is a protected witness, people who testify in proceedings. If they request assistance from the DOJ and applying for the program, we give them a protected witness status, which means bibigyan na ho namin sila ng security at yung mga ibang benefits pwede na makuha. Ang pagkakaiba lang, pag sinabi hong state witness, ibang procedure din po yun. Kaya yung po yung ina-evaluate ngayon, sa dami po ng transaksyon na nandito, inaayos po namin, tinitingnan ho namin kung paano ho, ano talagang krimen, saan kami magko-concentrate. At kung kaninong testimony po pinakamahalaga, under the Witness Protection Act, yun po, kailangan po makita namin kanino talaga ang necessary para makakuha kami ng conviction later on. Yun po lang ho ang ano dito.
Sir, so far, the level of protection that is being provided to the Discaya, to Bryce Hernandez, sa ngayon ay sa amin pa lang yan sa Senado?
Yes, sir.
Wala pa.
Sir, I just wrote a letter to the Senate President. I don't know if it was sent here yesterday. Ito po yung informing the senators that we have provisionally accepted them to the program. Tapos i-evaluate namin sila as state witnesses, pero bibigyan ho sila ng security mula po sa sulat na to ay matanggap na Senado. Since they're still under itong tatlong taong ito, si Bryce Hernandez, JP Mendoza, and Henry Alcantara, ay nasa custody po ng Senate at naka-contempt, hindi po namin sila binibigyan pa ng security. Pero ini-inform po namin kayo na bibigyan na namin ng security. And then we have to process also Mr. Discaya again tomorrow. Mahabang proseso ito kasi ang dami hong transaksyon, tsaka dapat alam po natin ang direksyon kung saan po papunta ang mga demanda.
Thank you, Secretary Remulla. Mr. Chair, okay na ako. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Senator Marcoleta.
I just want to make of record that when I approached the Secretary of Justice together with Engineer Bernardo, both of them committed that Engineer Bernardo will go to the DOJ accompanied by the DOJ Secretary for the purpose of filing the appropriate charges only. And Engineer Bernardo will not in any way add or alter the affidavit that he presented before us. Meaning to say, no additions, no subtractions, walang alterations. Whatever copy that he distributed to this committee will be just that.
That is correct.
Thank
At
you,
saka
Mr. Chair.
recorded naman po, nasa transcript, nasa YouTube, nasaan pa.
Yes, sir.
Kaya
Kasi po,
kung mag-alter siya, he will be liable for perjury.
Hindi po, no supplement, no nothing. Kasi
No,
po yung
he
iba, pagdating dito, nagsusupplement. Ang sabi niya, wala na po akong idadagdag. Yun lang po.
Meron siya sa statement niya na I humbly reserve the right to submit a supplementary affidavit
Ayun nga
if
po eh.
warranted.
Kaya po
in the
sinabi ko sa
premises.
kanya, meron ka rito, magdadagdag. Kasi dapat sana alam natin because he presented himself before this committee, but whatever he does outside this committee, wala tayong kinalaman. Hindi na po natin nalalaman kung ano mangyayari. I mean, for purposes of transparency, Mr. President,
You're saying
Mr. Chair,
that, just
kaya
in
po
case-
pumapayag na kami na dadalhin. Paano yung supplemental? Hindi na po natin malalaman. There will be no guidelines.
Dito rin po yung
dito rin
supplemental.
gagawin yung supplemental.
Hindi nga po natin malalaman eh. We will not be guided. Ano ba sasabihin niya? Why not before us?
Hearing is suspended. We'll now allow Secretary Remulla and Yusek Bernardo to leave the premises with a promise or commitment to come back this afternoon. In the meantime, we are now opening to the members yung pagtatanong sa ating mga other resource persons. Yes, you may, your excuse, Secretary Remulla. The Vice Chairman, Senator Erwin Tulfo, is recognized. 5 minutes, same guidelines, same rules apply.
Mr. Chair, ako din po nakukulangan po doon sa sinabi ni Yusek Bernardo. Parang kulang pa po yung mga tao na tinuro niya. So I believe yung sa supplemental po, aantayin na lang po natin. Siguro pagbalik niya because hindi po ako naniniwala na itong 4 lang po ito. I'm sure meron din po siya siguro mabanggit sa Kongreso, Mr. Chair. Anyway, I would just like to direct my question to Engineer Henry Alcantara. Mr. Alcantara, sangayon po ba kayo doon sa sinasabi ni Yusek Bernardo na dating boss mo?
Doon po sa mga personalidad na binanggit niya, wala po akong personal knowledge. Doon naman po sa sinasabi niya na 15 po, ginagalang ko po yung opinion niya. Pero ako po talaga ay 25 po at kung ano po yung nasa affidavit ko, yun po ang dinadala ko po. Pinadadala ko po sa mga driver po.
So magkaiba po yung sinasabi niya na 15% doon sa sinasabi niyo na 25% ang dinadala niyo po sa kanya.
Yes, Sir Honor. Ako po, yun po talaga ang hinahanda namin at pinadadala po sa mga driver po, Your Honor.
May babanggit po ba siya na doon po sa 25 na yon ay para kay senador na ganito lang o wala na siya binabanggit na meron din ako dyan?
Wala po, Your Honor.
So ibig sabihin, doon sa sinabi niya po na statement, linawin ko lamang, na 15% po ang dinadala niya doon sa mga umano'y mga kasamahan po namin dito versus doon sa binibigay mo sa kanya na 25%. Kulang po. Is that what you're saying? Ang bigay niyo po sa kanya 25%, pero yung nabanggit niya kanina ay 15% lang. So, nawawala po yung 10%. Saan po kaya napunta, Ginoong Alcantara?
Hindi ko na po alam as far as ang knowledge ko po at ang dinadala po namin ay 25% po. Yun po ay hinahanda po. Kasama po ang mga tao ko na naghahanda po nun at nagbibilang, Your Honor.
Chair, nawawala po yung 10% po na ito doon sa 25 na piniprepare nila. Pero po, Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko lang po ulit ay, pero sa pag-prepare po, hindi po ninyo natanong para kanino ba ito, boss? Para kanino ba ito, boss? Para kanino? Tama naman po yung mga pinagsasabi niya pong pangalan.
I never asked po, Your Honor, kasi po siya lang naman po yung kausap ko po, Your Honor.
Siya lang kausap mo?
Yes po.
Alright. Isa pa pong matanong ko po, kasi nabanggit na rin po ni ninyo, ng grupo ninyo, yung 3 pong kasamahan po namin earlier, o 2 po namin kasamahan, si Senador Jinggoy Estrada. Si Senador Jinggoy po ba, na-meet ninyo personal o kahit nakausap sa telepono in person?
Never po, Your Honor, na kausap tungkol po sa ganyang bagay o sa telepono po. Never
So,
po.
hindi po ninyo na-meet?
Yes po, Your
Or
Honor.
nakausap si Senador Jinggoy?
Hindi po. Maliban lang po nung, hindi ko po alam kung birthday yun, yung nasa picture po. Sinama lang po ako ng mga dating kasamahan ko po doon po sa okasyon.
That's how you met Senator
Yes po, Your
Jinggoy.
Honor.
What about Senator Villanueva po?
Senator Villanueva, nakakasama ko lang po siya pag may mga inauguration po, groundbreaking ng mga projects po sa Bulacan. Being the district engineer po, nakakasama ko po siya pag ganung mga okasyon.
Okay, wala na po other than that. Yung mga communication, tawag, after that, yung mga ribbon cutting, kung ano man yan, opening ng kalsada, wala na pong tawag po late at night or after office hours, wala na pong ganon.
Wala po, yun lang pong insidente na nag-text siya sa akin na mag-follow up lang po nung request niya kay Secretary Bonoan. Dito po sa budget hearing, yun po, doon ko po siya kinausap dito tungkol po doon sa request niya kay Secretary Bonoan. Pero sa labas po, hindi po kami nagkakasama. Maliban lang kung minsan po, nanonood ako ng PBA, nanonood siya, magkabilang side po kami. Nagkakawayan lang po. Bilang respeto ko po sa kanya.
All right, Mr. Chair. Opo. Okay. Mr. Chair, ito pong mga driver na ito, nandito po ba? Si Andre Balatbat, Christian Santiago, na binanggit po ni D. Alcantara na nagde-deliver po ng pera kay Congressman Saldico. Narito po ba sila?
Ay, kasama ba sila kasal? Opo. Tama po.
Narito po yata, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Na-administer mo na yun. Yan, administer lang yung oath. Ito yung debit ng dalawang driver. Hindi ko nakita yun. Para malinaw yung flow ng ano yun.
Yung kanang kamay po. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding? Yes, Your Honor. Salamat. Take your seats.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Kay Ginoong Balatbat, sino po si Ginoong Balatbat? Kayo po yon? Totoo po ba na kayo po ay nagde-deliver po ng pera doon po sa bahay ni or sa condo ni Congressman Saldico? Will you attest to that po na totoo po yung sinasabi ng boss ninyo?
Your Honor, bali ako po, isang beses lang po ako nakapag-deliver doon.
Gaano karami po yon? Kung inyo po natatandaan, ilang maleta, ilang sako yung deliver po ninyong pera?
Your Honor, sa pagkakatanda ko po, mga nasa 6 to 8 na maleta po.
6 to 8 na maleta. Alam niyo po ba kung magkano halaga noon? Di ba kayo sinabihan kung magkano?
Wala po kaming idea.
Saan po dinala? Pero alam po ninyo na pera po ang laman ng maleta po na yon.
Hindi po kinonfirm na pera, so wala po kaming idea.
Okay. Saan niyo po dineliver yung mga maleta na yon?
Nung nasama po ako doon, Your Honor, sa Valle Verde po.
Ito po ba yung bahay ni ni Congressman ako sa Valle Verde 6?
Bahay po siya pero hindi ko po alam kung kay Senate.
Sino po ang sumalubong po sa inyo doon?
Mga tauhan po yung nandun, Your Honor.
Mga tauhan? Wala pong resibo na parang acknowledgement receipt or what? Basta i-deliver nyo lang po doon?
Hindi ko po alam, Your Honor.
Alright, may papakita po kami slide ng bahay po. Ano po, kung ito po yung bahay na sinasabi ninyo na dineliver po ninyo sa bahay ni Congressman Saldico. Pakilagay po yung bahay. Kung ito po ba, ma-confirm lang po.
Your Honor, magkaiba po yan, Your Honor.
Magkaiba?
Opo.
Okay. Yung sasakyan ho na yan, alam niyo ho yan? Yung NFI 6319?
Your Honor, bali yan po yung nag-pick up po ng... Yan po kasi, Your Honor, yung sa Fairview po.
Ano naman yung sa Fairview?
Bali yan po yung dinadala namin ni Christian.
Dinadala po na?
Mga maleta din po yung dinadala namin.
So, hindi lang po isang beses. Kasi kung dinadala po namin, sabi nyo, iba naman po ito. So, ibang sasakyan naman po ito.
Opo, Your Honor. Bali po kasi yung sa sinasabi niyo po na yung sa Valle Verde po, isang beses lang po nakapagdala doon eh. Yung sa ano po,
Yung ito,
iba po yan nung ano eh.
sino po ang dinilibera na naman ninyo ng pera dito? Itong gamit yung sasakyan na ito.
Hindi, Your Honor, hindi po kami ang may gamit ng sasakyan na yan.
Pero kasama po yan dyan sa inyong office, itong NFI 6319.
Hindi po. Bali po, iyan po yung sasakyan ng kumuha ng mga maleta.
Yan po. So,
Opo.
nag-exchange lang kayo. Galing po sa sasakyan ninyo, inilipat nyo po dyan.
Bali sila po yung kumuha sa sasakyan namin.
Saan po ang nangyari